Alright guys, so this video here, we're going to try to do like a little series type thing. Me and my dad actually were talking. He wanted to do a build, I wanted to do a build, and of course they're two different builds. So I was thinking, I told my dad, I go, let's do like a little build off. This video here, we're going to see the beginnings of mine, and then hopefully the next video could be some of his, and kind of go back and forth. Hopefully get them done at the same time, so then we could film them both together. Let's see how it goes, and hopefully these both will be pretty cool builds.
So I recently picked up this engine here. As you see, it's an 18 horsepower engine by Briggs & Stratton. So now it's time to figure out what we're going to build around this. I just went around and picked up just random odds and ends pieces so far. These I actually bought at like Hobby Lobby. They were on sale for 99 cents. They're metal. I don't know what they're actually for, but I figured we could figure something out with them. So we got a bunch of random stuff, you know, small stuff that could possibly work for this build. But for the body, I got cabinets. So I got a lot of flat metal. So we want to make a front engine go-kart and make like a hot rod. I'll put up some pictures of what I'm thinking about doing. I'll probably look around, find a frame. This frame here is pretty beat up. But yeah, so I'll pull this frame off. I have it hanging with a it's held up by a ratchet strap. I think this is a good, we'll use this frame, and we'll just modify it. Obviously I'll probably set the engine on here just to see how it looks, to see if we could figure it out. Because if we could figure it out to just put the engine up here because of all this room here, and then we'll just move the pedals back here, just lengthen the steering, stuff like that. All right, so as you see, I set the engine on. It fits in this area pretty well, and I'm guessing I just put this here. I'm thinking I would sit about here, and then that would bring my feet to here. We have good room. Maybe if we have our heels at this bar right here, I think we'll be good. We're gonna have to find a like gearbox thing that will make it go from here to here, so then we could run a chain and stuff this way. Because my goal is every time I see someone do a front facing engine, they do hand controls. My goal is to not do hand controls. I would like to do the pedals still. Alright guys, so obviously as you see, I got the stuff cut. I had this thicker piece of metal here, so now I got to figure out where I want this. I'm thinking kind of like guessing about like right here. And the reason I want it so high, like I'm not gonna have it that high, but the reason why I want it up a bit is so that I know for sure that the steering ain't gonna touch. So what I did was I found this, luckily I have these bins here, and they're just filled with just a bunch of scrap metals and stuff. Luckily I found this square tubing, and it was already welded together and stuff. So now the engine will sit here, and it'll like kind of line up like with the front tires. But I am going to start coming up with a way to add support, like, you know, so like I'm trying to think of a good way to do it. I marked everything, I got it all figured out, so hopefully I could weld this piece on, put the engine on, and see how that stuff goes. Alright, so I have the plate just welded on up top, just 3 spots. I just wanted to get the holes right. I just got to make sure everything is looking straight. I'm probably going to just kind of figure out the steering now. Alright, so I want to show you what I did and what I came up with. That one piece that was here for the original steering, I took off, I broke it off. Up top, drilled a hole, so then the arm will be like perfectly straight pretty much. And then when I hold it and then I turn this, it'll still turn. I'm going to have to then make something to hold this where it needs to be, put a bearing on it. If I wanted to do for the steering, if I wanted to put a sprocket on here, I could do a sprocket to another sprocket and then turn it that way, or I could, you know, figure something else out. But that's what I have so far for that. So with the converter on, it's, you know, there's some good distance between this, so I'm not going to be too concerned about the belt. I don't think the belt will rub. Or I do have a spare clutch with a 1-inch shaft. Yeah, I'll actually grab that. So here's that clutch. The good thing with this is I could run it either way, however way I need. If this was here, it would sit here, which is kind of how I want it. With this, I feel like there's more play. With the torque converter, I know the one thing comes out here, and now looking at this could possibly be in the way and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. I'll probably start with the body now until I get some other stuff, but yeah, I'm just glad that the engine's on and it's actually pretty straight. Alright, so I did a small thing to the engine. It's very small, but I found since this pulls back, I save a lot of those when removing governors. I save a lot of these parts, and they had these like rods here. I got one here too. This was a thinner one and it fit in this hole, and then I'm gonna curve that a little more, but I have it running here, and I made this bracket here to hold it up, obviously. And then so now we have the start of the carburetor. Right now I got I got this battery when I got this engine, so I figured I'm just gonna put it in with it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the battery right here. I think this is a good spot for it. The reason I'm putting it here is, well, all the wiring is right here, but I just think it'll make it neater. So here's the battery box. What I'm gonna also do is, once this battery's in, I'm gonna get like a heat shield type thing on this side. And plus, the good thing with this being in the front, the airflow and stuff like that. So at least that's what I'm thinking. So now I'm gonna let everything cool. All right, here's the battery box. I have that just on this back part. It's pretty solid. It's not moving. I just did that because I didn't want it close to the terminals. But I rounded off the edges. This wiring I'll change up too, because this is, so when I bought this, this is just a kill switch. It's hooked up to this part here, which is hooked up to the coil, and then here, so it's just a kill switch. So now I got a extra switch, and this is for this piece right here, which I was told it is a fuel regulator. So it just helps, you know, regulate the fuel. So that, how this is ran, I took this cover off and looked. So this is hooked to this switch, and then this switch is hooked over here, and then this one here is the regulator. So the switch comes to this and to right here. So before, you would hook the battery up to here, which would give power to this, and then when you turn it on, it'll go to the fuel or regulator. So that's at least what that is, like how it's wired up. Right now I just cut off the wheelbarrow, and we're actually bringing the back further back of the body, so the body's going to look normal length. So that's the thought, at least. All right, so I did a little bit more to the go-kart. As you see, I took another piece of wheelbarrow and cut it up. So this is going to be kind of how the front is. And as you see, the back is, well, way back there. But the first thing I want to do is I want to get some flat bar and weld it on the inside from this end to that end on both sides. But now I have like a little firewall here. But then another thing I did was I added this air cleaner. And as you see, this piece here is actually off of an old ceiling fan. Thinking about it now, it's never too late, so I could always do it. But think about it now, I could have used this as itself as the velocity stack because it has that look. But then I just like this air cleaner on it because it just gives it makes the engine look that much bigger. And this air cleaner came from my uncle, so thank you, Uncle Dave. But yeah, and this just gives it that cool, like a cooler look, and kind of gives it a tunnel ram look type of thing. So I'm gonna keep that on it. It's moving along, it's going slow, but you know, slowly but surely it will get done. All right, so I had this, well, it's all apart now, but this was like an old like wine holder thing, and it's all metal. And I figured since it has this arch shape, I could possibly use it as a grill. So once I figure something out, I'll get back to you. Before I get too ahead of myself, I want to kind of show you my idea. So I took one of these and I shaped it up a little different, and as you see, I have it curving up, so when it's going to kind of have this look and point out here. And right now I have these old chain, so I'm thinking making the center bars out of these chain. So here's what I got. As you see, I welded, well, I tacked a lot. Probably do a couple more tacks, but I got this piece here was from that van that I used for espresso. I have it curved on both sides, so it kind of has a banana seat shape. So now I got to figure out how to put it on the front end, but I'll think of that. All right, guys, so this is the idea. I got just things clamped on, like these headlight things, and they're sitting so low because I figured where the pull start is, if you still want to use it, and they're not gonna sit as close, but I just have everything clamped on. So yeah, this is the look on that. All right, so I have the grill on. All I did was I just welded the angle iron to this, and I just bolted it on. The way I did this, I tried to make this curve and the curve like right here to line up. So that's how I did that. So now I think I'll try to figure out if I want where I want the headlights. So that's what I came up with. As you see, I got the flat piece of metal and the chain running here, and I welded the chain onto this flat piece of metal and up here to kind of strengthen it a bit. But then on the back side, I welded the links together so it wouldn't flop. And then I found some old skateboard hardware and used that to hold it in. But yeah, so now all I have to do once I do the other side is figure out how to do the light itself and how to wire it. Alright, I was doing some more work on the headlights, and as you see, I have a light in there, and it actually does work. As you see, I got the light down there, and I just took plexiglass, traced it over this, and I just for now have it glued on. I probably will end up trying to find something that could kind of cover over here, and then I would just like kind of have it where it'll go on and it'll hold everything together. But as of right now, I have it glued. I know I'm working in weird, like I started with the grill and the headlights, which doesn't make sense, but it's a rat rod, so I could work wherever I want and do whatever I want. So that's the best part about a rat rod. I think next step is to get like a side piece and work from there. All right, so I added some support, and while I was doing that, I ended up taking the exhaust off and started. I wanted to pause because I started to weld and stuff, so before I finish it, I want to kind of show you guys where I'm at and what I'm doing. So I have this piece of a trampoline, like part of the legs. This was the part that obviously sat on the ground. So what I did was I cut it in half, and then luckily the piece here barely, like this piece barely fit in, so I was able to kind of push it in as far as I can. So the other side of it, I slide this in, so now I got somewhere to weld, but then now it's going to sit like this. So if I could kind of get it to balance, there you go. So it'll sit and curve like that, and then aim out like that, so it'll follow the body, and then wherever I want it to end, I could have it end. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I got the exhaust all welded up. As you see, that one's all welded up there and right there. So the exhaust is done. So now I got this filing cabinet. I took out all of the inside stuff. So my planning is I'll cut out this sheet of metal, and then I'll place it onto here and kind of size it. All right, so I got this all cleaned up, and I re-drew on the thing. I used some straight edges to make everything straight. But then I also was looking at pictures of rat rods, and I noticed back here is curved. So instead of having it straight, I curved it. So then now it'll have that, like, it'll have the lines that it's supposed to have. So that's going to be the rough shape, and then I got to build onto that. So I'm going to cut that out and trace it and then cut. So I have it cut, I have it clamped on. I didn't trace it yet. I just wanted to kind of show you the idea. That's obviously not going to be the tire size. I'm going to do a lot bigger. I just wanted to get an idea on how it would look. I got it to sit better in here, so there won't be much gap here. I just have to fill in this curved piece here. The other piece that I cut off of this, I will be able to use here. I just wanted to show you where I'm at. It's actually coming out pretty cool, kind of better than I expected, honestly. But now all I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking around for pieces and try to do as much as I can before having to buy anything, because so far, minus the engine, I haven't really bought anything yet. So I'm going to go as far as I can until I have to order something. I kind of want to shape that differently, but as of right now, I'm going to just leave it until I figure something out. The body I technically could get done with and possibly paint, but I ain't going to paint it yet. I'm trying to come up with some cool ideas for this. If you guys have any ideas on what I should do with the body, like paint wise or whatever, leave a comment.
So guys, there it is. As you see, I got it at this point. I did end up mounting it, but I think I'll show that next video series on this one. But so far, I got the engine, I think, where I wanted. But yeah, I just wanted to see how far I could get it before I have to order stuff, which I'm pretty much at that point right now. So I think next video, it should be axle stuff, steering, and figuring out how to get it from this to this for the chain to work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for what we come up with my dad's, and make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, hope you enjoyed your cruise down Delashment Road.